The majority of us understand reflexes, physical reflexes. So if you were to hit your knee with a hammer, your knee or your leg does that little jerk thing. And I don't mean a builder's hammer, because that would probably give you a slightly different reaction if you were to hit your knee with a builder's hammer. I'm referring to the little rubber ones. Also, another kind of natural reflex is if I threw something at you, you're going to blink or you're going to go to catch it. It's almost like an involuntary reaction to this, whatever's happening in your space. And I've come to the conclusion that we also have what I like to term emotional reflexes, or natural reactions emotionally to certain things that happen. A lot of the times it's a good thing. We don't have to think that much about what we're feeling. A good friend of yours or someone you care about tells you good news, your emotional reflex is to be happy for them. Other way is to look at it as if you hear really sad news, or you experience something, you see something that's particularly sad, your natural reflex is to feel sadness. I have come to the conclusion, though, that often our emotional reflexes can be harmful for us if we're not paying attention to them. So I'll give you an example. I was going to go and visit a friend of mine. I was driving down the road. Now, here in Queensland or on the Gold Coast, there's obviously different speed limits depending on where you are. A lot of suburban areas are either 50 or 60 or sometimes 70 kilometers is the speed limit. And I was driving and I was behind somebody and they were doing 50 in a 60 zone. And I started to get quite agitated that they were going so slow. And I had been listening to a TED talk prior to that, and it was about decision making, and that's where this concept of physical reflexes, that the speaker spoke about physical reflexes, and I'd thought about emotional reflexes. So I was a bit more aware of what was going on with myself emotionally, which is a good thing. And as I was driving, I thought, why are you letting yourself get agitated by this person driving slowly? And my automatic response was, well, because I'm in a hurry. But I wasn't. My friend and I hadn't arranged on a time to meet. It was one of those, I'll see you when you see you, I'll see you when you get here kind of arrangements. We didn't have any plans. I didn't have any plans for the rest of the day. If my friend and I do something, and we don't just sort of do nothing, but if we do something, it's always in the late afternoon when it's a little bit cooler here on the Gold Coast. So I didn't have any specific plans for myself or with another person. There was no need for me to be in a hurry, whether it's 10 kilometers or, get to a certain destination quickly. So I thought, okay, well, it's not that I'm in a hurry. Then I thought, well, they're not paying attention to the speed limit. They should be more aware that the speed limit is actually 60 and not 50. And again, I thought, well, am I always super conscious at all times of what the speed limit is? I've had a few instances where, people are trying to see what's in my boot, and I'm thinking, back off, mate, what's your problem? And then I notice, okay, the speed limit's actually gone up. So I can't, in all honesty, put my hand up and say, I've always been super conscious exactly of what the speed limit is at all times. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're not aware of it. Then I thought, well, perhaps they're looking for a specific destination or they're looking for an address. I know for myself, if I'm driving and I'm going somewhere new and I don't know where I'm going, I will drive slowly because I don't want to be speeding and then something, that's where I need to be and brake. So once I sort of broke it down into these various different things that, it could be this, it could be that, and I'm not in a hurry. Again, I thought, well, okay, I can deal with the fact that they're going slower. But it brought me back to my original question. Why am I letting this, or why am I choosing to be agitated by it? And this is where those emotional reflexes really kicked in for me. I got my license quite late. I was in sort of my early 30s when I got my license. So my experience of people driving were primarily my parents. And then I lived in countries where I used public transport. So I wasn't really that active as a sort of passenger. I was obviously a passenger on the bus or passenger on the train, but not, passenger in the car. And then I got my license quite later in life. My mum was a pretty calm driver, but my dad was quite an agitated driver, and he would be the kind that would be agitated by people going slow. Then after I got my license, my ex-husband was also an agitated driver. So he would also be the type that would be a bit agitated by people going slow. So I've learned over time that the natural emotional reaction to somebody going slow is agitation. Is it a choice? Is it something that I'm consciously thinking about? Okay, I want to get agitated by this person because they're driving slowly and I've got to be somewhere in a hurry. No, because in that instance, I wasn't in a hurry. There was no need for me to be agitated. But again, it's those emotional reflexes that often we just react to certain things emotionally without really thinking about what it is that we're feeling and why it is that we're feeling that. And my hope and my goal for this video is just to make us a little bit more aware that often when we're reacting, we're not actually choosing our emotions. We're just sort of reacting out of a reflex. And it's my hope that as we become more aware of this, that we can stop and think, okay, why am I feeling this way? Why am I choosing to feel this way? And if we can think about why we're choosing to feel specific ways, then we can either get to the root cause of what the problem is and resolve it, or we can choose an alternative. So in my case, I was thinking, well, I don't need to be anywhere in a hurry. I can understand there's multiple options why this person's going slowly. They're unaware, which I've done before. They need to be somewhere and they're looking for a specific place. Or it could just be maybe they're going through something and they're not really that focused. Whatever the case is, I'm happy to drive a bit slower and not be agitated. And obviously that agitation would have a knock-on effect for the rest of my day. I might get a bit aggressive with them or tailgate, then they might be upset, and it's just this, knock-on effect. So if you enjoyed this video and you found it beneficial, please share it with others. My hope and my goal is that if more of us become aware and conscious of what it is that we're thinking, and are we responding because of an emotional reflex, or are we really choosing our emotions? If more of us do that, then more of us could be happier, and more of us would be able to choose a better alternative than the automatic response that we've just learned. Well, take care, and I hope you are able to question your own emotional reflexes.